make it a better place. It'll take creation, imagination.
Hi everybody, this is Tina. Welcome to my video today, you guys. I'm going to be using this stamp set right here. This is a celebration stamp set. And you can get this stamp set for free when you place a $50 order. So Celebrations is wrapping up. It's just a few more weeks and products are now while supplies last. There have already been a few things that have sold out. The gold 10 card 10 has sold out. So if you're wanting to get any of these items, you'll really need to put in your $50 order and get your free item right away. So all the information for ordering and the host code you can use are down below in the YouTube description or on my coordinating blog post. But the reason that I chose this stamp set is because when I got this stamp set, I felt like it was really intimidating. Like I looked at it and I really was not sure how to use it. So I decided to make a really simple card for you guys and show you how you can use this. So we're going to use this stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set. We're going to use a different sentiment, but we're going to use the images. And then this is going to be the colors. These are the colors we're going to be using. And these are colors that I'm pretty drawn to right now. The Pear Pizzazz, Bermuda Bay, and then Pumpkin Pie. So we're going to start with a piece of Pear Pizzazz. And this is at 5.5 by 4.25, so you just fold that right in half, and that's going to give you a card base. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, and it is at 4 by 5.25, so you can see it has a nice border around it. So that's a really simple way to start your card. So I'm going to need a piece of scratch paper, so I'm just going to use this piece of pumpkin pie that I have sitting here. And we're going to zoom in and we're going to do some stamping. So you don't need to see the top of the card because we're going to be doing all the stamping on the bottom of the card. So what I like to do is just use my grid mat to kind of make sure everything's lined up. Just helps me. Right on this side of me, I have my Stampin' Scrub, and that is so that I can clean off this stamp that I'm going to be using because we're going to be doing two different colors. So I have Pumpkin Pie right up here, and then I have Bermuda Bay. I really want you guys to see the stamping. So we're going to be using this image. I'm going to clean it first. It looks like it's a little, has some ink on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Pumpkin Pie, and you can see that right here. And I'm going to start down here in this corner. And we'll lift that up. It's a little bit wet, so be careful not to smear it. And then clean your stamp, and then we're going to go in with Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do about 4 of these. And what I really like about these photopolymer stamps is when you put the stamp down to the paper, you can really see the ink soaking into that paper, and you can see if you've gotten a good coverage on that. So I'll clean that again. We'll do Pumpkin Pie again, and about 4 of them will fit on here. And this time I'm going to hang off the edge a little bit, and then we'll do one more Bermuda Bay. And this time we're going to do it this way. So I've kind of rotated the way the image is on the paper here. And then this hung off a little bit. Okay, so the next image we're going to use is going to be this leaf image right here. And I'm going to come in with some Pear Pizzazz, which is the reason I chose Pear Pizzazz for our base color. And I'm going to put a couple of these on here, and then we may come back and add a couple more of these. Okay, so now let's add a few other things, and then we may come back with that green. I think a green one needs to go right here. I'm trying to fill in some of the larger spots. And I wish I would have pointed that way because I really don't like how both of these are pointed this way, but you know, can't win them all. So now there's this little tiny image in there, and we're going to rotate this back and forth between the Pumpkin Pie and the Bermuda Bay. So when we do the Pumpkin Pie, we're going to put this by the Bermuda Bay flowers, the little florals right there. And I'm just tucking them in. And we can hang a couple off the edge of the paper. That will work well. And then we'll come in with the Bermuda Bay and do the same thing. And these are just acting as fillers as well. We're just kind of filling in some spots. There really is no right or wrong way to do this. It's just really whatever you like, whatever you're wanting to do. Okay, and then I feel like let's do another orange one here. Probably good. I don't want to overdo it. So let's close up these inks because I have ink everywhere. The only place that I feel like is a little bare is right here, but I don't want to put another Bermuda Bay and I don't want to put an orange. So that's where I can come back and maybe do a green. Not my favorite, the way those are clustered together, but some of that will be covered up. So we have our card base right here. I'm going to take my sanding block and I'm just going to run this along the edges of my cardstock. I need to change my blade and my trimmer, and this is just a tip that I do when I need to do that and I haven't done it. I just grab a little sanding block and I pull off all those extra pieces of paper. Okay, so what we'll do is we will go ahead and layer this flat. You could pop this up if you wanted. I'm going to go ahead and layer this flat border. Okay, so now we're going to add this black strip, and you can see that some of that's getting covered up like this. So we're going to emboss on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our embossing buddy, and we're going to put a bunch of powder down here because I really do not want embossing powder to stick. And the other thing that this does is it sort of makes this black piece look like a chalkboard. It gives it that chalkboard effect. So I'm using this that says "To a Wonderful Friend." This is from a different stamp set. It is from the Dragonfly Dreams stamp set, and I just liked the sentiment. So we're going to use Versamark. That's how we're going to do our embossing. So right here, we've just put that embossing. We've used this Versamark ink pad. I know it looks icky, but it's okay. You just ink that up, and then I'm going to try to get this nice and straight. So then we will bring our embossing powder over. If you're interested in how I store my embossing powder, I have a whole post where I talk about embossing powder, how I store it, these little spoons, all of that. I will link it in a card for you guys so that you can check that information out if you want. Alright, so now that that is all cooled down, we're just going to run our adhesive right along the back of that. So here is our card where we stamped. And now what I'll do is just use my grid mat to go ahead and place this. And it's not going to stretch all the way across. It's a little shorter, but that's okay. That will just add to the look of it. And then I can run my finger across the black and wipe off more of that powder if I want. But then there is my really simple card. If you wanted to step it up, you could do a few things. First thing you could do is add a couple rhinestones right to the top here. It's always hard for me to line rhinestones up. I feel like they always come out crooked, but you could add these. Give it a little bit of bling on there. And the other thing you do is take your Wink of Stella and just add a little bit of shimmer to these flowers. You can see I did each color, like I did all the pumpkin pie ones first, and then I did the Bermuda Bay, because your Wink of Stella will react with this ink and it will move the ink around a little bit. So you don't want to get real crazy and go all over, because you will get that ink outside. But this is a image that is, it looks watercolored, so moving that ink around a little bit within the centers is not gonna, isn't gonna harm it any. So there is our really simple card. So I actually ended up really liking this stamp set, even though at first I was really intimidated. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed this card. You can check out all of the supplies I used on my coordinating blog post. And remember, if you are wanting to get any of the celebration items, please make sure you get your orders in. When things sell out, they sell out, and that is the end of it. Like, they're gone forever. So thank you so much, guys, and I'll be back later this week to hang out with you.